everybody. I'm back. Everybody, Gina Young is back, and I'm back with yet another amazing recipe. I am so excited. Yet another day, because today at the Young's house, Gina Young is going to share with you all how easy it is to make smothered cube steak. This recipe right here is so amazing. So easy to make, doesn't require a lot of ingredients, and if you make it Gina Young style, it's going to be so tasty, hands down. Here are the ingredients you will need. You will need some cube steak. So now here's what the cube steak looks like. It's honestly very interesting. It has like, it's been pounded. Can you see that? So that's the texture that you're looking for when you go to purchase your cube steak. Okay, I'm going to be cooking about 5 or 6 of them today. We will be making some quarter potatoes. You will need some butter. You're going to also need some fresh mushrooms. We have a nice sweet onion. We're going to be using a pack of Lipton onion soup mix, a can of cream of mushroom or cream of chicken. I'm using cream of chicken today. And also I have some beautiful seasoning here, which it has great flavor. It's made by Grace, and it's an all-purpose seasoning. You never tried this before, you must try it. I'm going to be using some browning, and browning is just to make our gravy nice and brown, and you can see it over there in that browning yellow bottle. We're going to use some black pepper, garlic powder, and salt. We're also going to have some fresh corn on the side. Make sure your hands are impeccably clean. Let's get started with this amazing recipe, Gina Young style. Let me know in the comment section below if I'm giving you guys a great view. So I figured I'd do the video this way today because, just to be honest, I didn't feel like getting dressed. I got up, took a good old shower, took my medicine, ate a little bit, and here we are. And dressing wasn't a part. Getting dressed wasn't a part of my day today. All right, so just sit back and relax and enjoy the video old school. And when I say old school, what I mean by that is this is how Gina Young used to do the videos, when I first started my channel. What I'm doing right now is I'm going in with a nice amount of this Grace seasoning, okay? And I'm only going to use this Grace seasoning on one side of the meat, okay? And then we're going to put some garlic powder, just like so. Beautiful there. All right, I'm only going to season one side of this meat, okay, because the meat is fairly thin. Anytime I get a thin meat, I just season one side. All right, black pepper is definitely a must. I hope that you all are having an amazing day today. And then let's go in with some salt. I like to measure the salt in between, with my hand and kind of distribute it this way. I feel like I can distribute it more better than that shaker bottle can, So that's why I like to do it this way. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring this meat up to room temperature. So we're going to let this meat kind of hang out on the counter for, let's just say, at least 20 minutes. And we're going to let that beautiful seasoning kind of seep down into this gorgeous protein, And when the meat comes up to room temperature, it cooks up better, because if you cook it when it's freezing cold, it's going to cook up nice and dry for you. I hope that you all are having a great day today. Let me know in the comment section below, have you ever heard of smothered cube steak? And I tell you what, if you haven't heard of this, you are in for a treat, because this is an amazing recipe. You're going to want to stay tuned. Okay, everybody, so now, one thing I almost forgot to tell you all about, which it's never too late. You're going to need some flour, any kind of flour you have. If you have rice flour, wheat flour, all-purpose flour, self-rising, as long as you have some flour, it'll do the trick. So I've put some flour onto my baking sheet, and we're going to take the seasoned cube steak, and we want to dredge it just like so. After we get it nice and dredged, we're going to give it a nice shake off, okay? The purpose for shaking it is because what will naturally happen is the flour, the excess flour, if you don't shake it off, it'll go to the bottom of the pan and it'll burn. And then whatever you're cooking will have like a burnt flavor. But if you give it a nice shake like this before going into the oil, you're not going to have that issue. Let's get everything nice and coated just like so in this manner. And when I come back, I'm going to show you all what you need to do next. So now that we have all the meat nice and coated and dredged, You want to take your time to slice up your fresh mushrooms and also slice up some onions. If you want to slice them, that's fine. If you want to dice them, that's fine. And honestly, if you don't want to use onions or mushrooms, that's fine as well, okay? You know, I always have to give you guys options because there's always somebody out there that's going to say, oh, Gina, I can't make it because my husband is allergic to onions, you know. So here's the thing. If you have that situation in your household, just omit that ingredient and you can still enjoy the recipe, you know. So what I've decided to do was give them a nice slice, just like so in this manner. I would honestly say this is a medium-sized onion, okay? And I can just set this aside for the time being. So now let's talk about, come with me, camera. So now let's talk about my pan here. In my pan, I have some vegetable oil, and honestly, you can see it's not a whole lot of oil. We're not deep frying these babies, but we do want to get a nice, beautiful color onto them. We're not aiming to fully cook them because they'll get fully cooked in the oven, okay? What we're aiming for is a nice, beautiful golden brown crust on each side of each one of them. And once that happens, I'm going to show you all what to do next. Let's get these in the pan. Oh yeah, see that sizzle? You might not be able to see or hear that sizzle, but that's what we're looking for, okay? That's gonna make you have that beautiful golden brown crust that I just spoke of. Let's get them nice and coated, golden brown. When I come back, we'll talk about what to do next. Take a look at that sizzle. Get them nice, beautiful, and golden brown, both sides. So now, since I'm gonna be making quarter potatoes, I want to go ahead and peel my potatoes, okay? And then we're going to quarter them. And I'm going to show you just how to quarter one of them, all right? And quarter potatoes is something that my grandmom used to make. And she would just boil these babies, you know, until they were fork tender. This is how you quarter them, all right? And then she would put butter and salt and pepper, and I would go nuts over it. Well, I decided to put a little bit of parsley flakes and garlic powder on it, and it's like a success. It's amazing potato, and it's so easy to make. And so that's what we're going to do with these. What I like to do is when they're done, I like to put a nice amount of butter on top of them, salt, pepper, garlic powder, parsley flakes, put a lid on it, and just let that butter and those seasonings melt onto the potato, and you're done with that recipe, right? Pretty simple, right? That's because everything Gina Young shares with you all, it's going to be simple, and doggone it, it's going to taste good. And here's the potatoes. Go ahead, rinse them off very well. Salt the water. Make sure you're cooking them in cold water. Okay, let's cook them for about 25 minutes. Can we just check in on these gorgeous, oh my goodness, cube steaks, Gina Young style. You would not believe the smell that's coming out of this house right now. Okay, look at that. I got the gorgeous color. Like I said, we're not aiming to cook the inside. We're aiming to get it golden brown. It will get cooked in the oven. Okay, look at that. Oh, yes. So now when it comes to seasoning my corn, I have frozen corn here. Okay, everybody, sorry about that. That was my husband. He always knows when the food is cooking. All right, so for my corn, I've put water, butter, salt and pepper, and we are going to use some sugar. Those of you that don't want to use sugar, don't freak out about it. Don't use it. You know, and honestly, it's that simple. Okay, so I'm going to put some sugar in. All right. Just like so. Got some gorgeous color onto our cube steak. Let's go ahead and set it onto a platter for the time being. And the next thing I want to do is get those other ones nice and fried up. So when my husband found out I was making this recipe, he I'd like to say, he sort of jumped for joy. He said, oh, baby, I'm so glad you're making it. It's been so long since you made that. And I told him, I said, listen, I said, I know what you need when you need something, you know. And he kind of looked at me. He said, yeah, you do. So now that all of our meats are nice and seared on both sides, let's go ahead and put your cream of mushroom or your cream of chicken into your pan. I normally like to use 1.5 cans, or sometimes I use 2 cans, all depending on, you know, like how much gravy I want. And my family loves gravy. So I feel like I'm going to use 2 cans today, so that's what we're going to use. You can saute up the onions if you want. Today I'm not going to saute them. Here's how I'm going to do it a little different today. We're going to throw everything in here, okay? We're going to throw the mushrooms in. We're going to throw the onions in just like so. And give it a nice stir in this manner. And you're not going to believe how gorgeous these veggies and this gravy comes together. And that oil that's in the bottom of the pan, leave it in there. Leave it in there. Oh, and like I said, feel free to saute up your onions and your mushrooms ahead of time before you put your cream of chicken in, okay? It's really up to your discretion. All right, look at this, beautiful. Let's let it cook down for a little bit. Our corn is done. We can turn that off. Now what we can do, since we've let this cook down a little bit, let's go ahead and add in your desired amount of onion soup mix. I'm gonna put, sometimes I put in 1 pack. Since I used 2 cans of the cream of chicken, let's put in 1.5 packs for great flavor. Okay, just like so. And here's where our gravy comes together, like it really comes together. Okay, you're gonna start to get a nice, gorgeous brown color, right? And if it's not brown enough for you, we're gonna put that kitchen bouquet browning seasoning in. It really doesn't give you any seasoning, but it gives you a nice brown color, you know. All right, so now we're gonna put some water in. And I want you all to think about the consistency of gravy. Well, how much water, Gina? Well, I just put it in. And I'm looking for a gravy consistency. You all know what gravy consistency looks like. You don't want it to look like plaster, and you don't want it to look like soup. Okay, once you achieve that beautiful consistency that you're looking for, then we can put our meat back in, and guess where this goes? Into the oven so that meat can get fully cooked. This is a non-full recipe, like it can't be messed up. Okay, so let's check in on our consistency, and that right there, that's looking like gravy. You bet it is. Let's go ahead and put some kitchen bouquet in. Here's the kitchen bouquet. Watch me, watch me, watch me. That's enough. That's enough, unless you want yours extremely dark, you know. I don't want mine's too dark. You know, we're looking for that perfect brown color. Oh, I'm happy with this right here. Oh yeah, a little bit darker, a little bit more. Come on, Gina, look at this. How many of you all would go all in on this gravy right here? Like this gravy right here, honestly, it's like magic. It is like magic. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees, and we're going to cook this. We're going to take this pan, because this pan is oven proof. If you don't have an oven proof pan, and then you get a baking dish, you know. We're going to bake it in the oven until everything is fully cooked. Let's start to nestle some of our beautiful meat down in there. You get in there, you marry with that gravy, listen here, and you get nice and coated and simmered. Yes! Now that we have our meats in here simmering up, let's go ahead and simmer it for about 10 minutes on top of the stove, and then the rest of the way in the oven, 350 degrees. Meanwhile, when I come back, we're going to check in on our beautiful potatoes, Gina Young style. So the smothered steak is in the oven, 355 degrees. We're going to take a stick of butter, and we're going to put butter all over the top of these potatoes. You don't want to stir it, because we want for the potatoes to keep its, you know, we want it to keep those quarter pieces. We don't want to mash it, okay? And this butter that you put on is just going to melt down all through these potatoes, okay? And now we're going to put some parsley, because we want it to look beautiful, right? Look at that. Right there, right there. Oh, yes, right there. And then we're going to put some salt. Got to have salt for potatoes, like you have to. Can't make a potato without salt. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to put some black pepper and some garlic powder. We're going to cover it with foil so that butter can melt. And guess what? Both of our side dishes are done. Oh, wait, look at that. Cover it. Let's wait on our cube steak to get done. And when I come back, you bet I'm going to say an amazing prayer. You all are going to get that first bite. Stay tuned, because you're going to love to see how I present this. Listen, for those of you that may be new or you don't know, Tomorrow, Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Gina Young will be doing a live cooking session. If you would like to cook along with me, feel free to go to my community tab, and in the community tab, you will see all of the ingredients that you're going to need to cook live with Gina Young. Gina Young's going to be making homemade pizza. We're going to make barbecue chicken wings, and we're also going to make some chocolate chip cookies. So make sure you be there. Be there or be square. We're going to have so much fun. Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
You gotta say burn too.
So what you may notice here is that everything is clean. Dishes are clean. Clean up as you go, and you'll be stress-free. Like I promise you, it really helps me out. Clean up, wash the dishes as you go, get the trash out. Do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel sane in the kitchen, because once those dishes pile up, you're going to feel stressed out. Don't let them pile up. You may hear a little bit of noise in the background. That's because my husband and Dakota are cleaning out one of the fish tanks. And also I wanted you guys to see Prince and Polo. You can see Polo at the top of the couch, and Prince, he's kind of at the bottom of the couch. So say hi, guys. Take a look at this, everybody. Oh my goodness. Now this right here is what you call smothered cube steak. And I love how we cook the onions and the mushroom in the gravy versus sauteing them alone and then making a gravy. Like you get so much more flavor out of the mushrooms and the onions this way. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh, Heavenly Father, we like to thank you once again for this beautiful meal today. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. If you all enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Tell your family and friends and everyone you know, tell the whole world about Gina Young, what I'm doing in this kitchen on a daily basis. Take a look at it, everybody. A meal fit for a king. And as always, God bless you all. Thank you all for watching. Good night. Look at that. Oh, make you some.